Okay, all of teenagers, kids, everyone, grown-ups, whatever. When you are under the influence of whether it's alcohol, drugs, weed, whatever it is, you are not within the proper state to give consent. You are unable to give proper consent. Facts. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what law firm, what country says. That's facts. You cannot give consent if you are under the influence of any drug, of any alcoholic beverage, of anything, whatever. And that's facts. And to disagree with that is weird, and I will not hear anything else.
All right, so first, can we like define like what is like a few drinks? Like, what
Mm,
do you mean by like a few?
okay, that's a good question. I How I took it, a few was we're not totally sloshed. Like we still have our mental faculties, but it's like you just yeah, you're not having like a crazy
I took it as tipsy or like drunk, but still.
night out. It's just you had a couple drinks and you're just feeling it. And I think anything past that is like kind of an automatic no go, but I don't see the problem if you're kind of at that level.
I kind of get what you're saying. It's just like no matter what, like you're still drinking.
Like like
It's like
like
you're
like like
still putting a foreign substance into your body that's gonna affect how you are, no matter how sloshed you are. It's still like it's gonna affect you somehow, and it's just like it's gonna affect your capacity to communicate because like
sloshed like
consent
it's
is a
Fortnite or
two-way
something.
street, and if you're not at the capacity to both walk down it, you shouldn't be doing anything.
So do you think though that if somebody's had just like two beers each, just beer, like we'll say beers,
Yeah.
right? That you're just like you can't do anything at all because you've touched something.
I don't think no. Like it's not like completely removing it from the equation. You know, it's like just because you had a little bit of something doesn't mean. But I think it's like it means you do have to take more time to really assess what you're gonna do because like it is still something, even though if it's not a lot, you still want to take that time to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but 100% should make sure that both parties are okay.
I think like, cause you were saying like 2 beers, right? That doesn't seem like a lot, but like most people, not everybody has like the same tolerance when it comes to alcohol. So it's like some people might have like a lower
Dude in the
tolerance,
back.
and like 2 beers
Dude in the back. Bro, he mad surprised about something.
can get them fully like drunk. So it's like to me, I disagree because it's like you don't know how low someone's tolerance is, and if you're like you might not be that drunk, but they're like more drunk than you think, and then it's like a different level of like mind space. I
Dude
don't
in
know
the
if that
back
makes
is
sense.
funny.
You get what
I
I'm
could
saying?
definitely see it as being precarious, and you have to be careful with now your judgment's a little affected. So like seeing somebody being like, "Oh, are you okay to do this?" It's like it's harder to judge where they're at. Um, and I think it's one of those things that we were talking about earlier. It's like if you have any kind of like maybe this is like any questioning, you should probably like stop there.
Oh no, 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 no. Ghosting someone is so much more messed up than just rejecting them. When you ghost someone, they get like when you ghost someone, they don't know what's going on. They're left completely in the dark. It's like you essentially abandoned the entire situation that was going on. Um, but rejecting them is like at least you give them. But rejecting them is like you give them closure in a sense, and it's just more clear. Like you could just be clear about it for sure. Everyone loves. Everyone loves ghosting, but it's not good. Like everyone loves ghosting because they're so non-confrontational nowadays. Like almost every teenager is so non-confrontational. It's like, oh my gosh, because they don't know how to confront someone without getting physical about it. Bro, you could 100% confront someone about something or and be confrontational without being physically aggressive, without physically attacking someone or being afraid of being physically hurt or whatever. Like, bro, a lot of teenagers for sure are so scared to speak up and just say what's on their mind, bro. Just speak. You have a mouth for a reason. Speak. Move your mouth to speak how you feel and think. Like it's really not that hard. I know people struggle with it, but it's physically not hard. So just come on. The point is, bro, ghosting someone is so selfish because you're essentially putting yourself first and disregarding the person's feelings and disregarding the other person entirely. So as much as it's like, oh, but at least I don't have to tell them no, and at least I don't have to tell them that I'm not interested because I don't want to hurt their feelings. You're doing more harm. You're doing more bad than good, honestly, by ghosting someone.
I 1000% disagree that just ghosting someone is nicer than giving them an explanation because, as people and as a person who is very anxious, and I know a lot of people are, if all of a sudden, after being in a relationship with someone, I woke up one day and they had like blocked me and I had no way to get in contact with them, I would freak out because that I wouldn't know like if I did something wrong or what happened. And on the flip side of that, if I had done something wrong that got me ghosted, I feel like the other person, not that they would owe it to you, but I feel like it would be the kind thing to do to tell me what I did.
Yes, 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 yes. It's literally just human decency to just tell someone like, "Yo, this is why I don't want to continue our relationship." Otherwise, you're just leaving them in the dark, and it's like, ah, why are you torturing me? That's a bit extra, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, no facts. She's spitting facts right now.
So that the person can grow. I also think that this stems from I work a lot with special needs kids, so everything that I do is over communicated. Everything that I do, I like narrate myself. And if something happens,
Okay, so she knows because she's good at communicating, which is literally like what I was saying earlier.
I explain to them exactly why this happened. Like if they get a punishment, I explain exactly why it happened. And I think that that can go into just you've loved this person and you've been in a relationship and you've obviously respected them enough to give them your time. Why would you just ghost them instead of giving them an and grow as a person?
I think in the context of like a serious relationship, I definitely don't think ghosting is the way to go. When I think of ghosting, I think more of like maybe you're talking to someone or you're hanging out with them, and like a lot of my friends who are girls specifically have talked to me about this where they don't know how to reject certain guys specifically, and sometimes, when you're a teenager, maybe you have like
I don't know how to reject him. Rejection 101 with Angel. Yeah, I really don't like you, so, and I know that this relationship's not gonna go anywhere, so I want to cut things off right here. But, but why? I thought we had something good going on. Yeah, but, I'm at a point now where I just don't want it, and I think it's best if we stop speaking to one another. Please. Oh, okay. Bye. Bye. Easy as that. But I understand there's some weirdos. But no! No! Stay with me! Stay with me! At that point, chill, bro. I already told you no, I don't want this. I'm leaving now. Dip. If this is over the phone, black, black button right there. Black button right there, by the way.
a weird ego or a weird complex, and like I don't know. Like I think sometimes it's safer to just kind of like let someone down gently without being so direct as to like I'm not interested in you. I don't want to keep going out with you.
I actually do agree
Not for sure. It can be safer to, be a little bit more indirect, but to to ghost someone though, I think there's like very specific scenarios for when that is okay. One, if you're in danger in any sort, in any kind of way, right? If you're in danger in any kind of way, do whatever you have to do to be safe. 100%. Two, I can think of it at the top of my head, but yeah, you get the point. Yeah.
with you, especially like going back to the safety thing. If you're talking to someone or your friend has gotten into a relationship and it turns out that the person is not exactly who they said they were, ghosting them could absolutely be the safer option or just blocking them. If you were in a long term relationship and all of the sudden they started like acting really, really weird, would you ghost them or would you give them an explanation as to why you were done with the relationship?
Long term is in like a year or
I
like
would say a year.
okay.
Yeah.
If I was dating someone for a year and they started acting weird, I wouldn't ghost them. Would maybe not communicate exactly what I was thinking if they were acting erratically and I thought that was like not the right thing to do. If you were in a long-term relationship, would you communicate that.
How long would I have been with this person? Like long term, short
I've
term?
been dating them for 6 months and you just stopped liking them.
I mean, I would tell them. I would have an honest conversation. It would be hard. I would have to like hype myself up. I'd have to like call my friend and be like, hey, like I have to do this. But I feel like if I've respected the person enough to be in a relationship with them for 6 months, again, like not that you owe someone anything, but I would explain like, hey, even
If you're in a serious relationship or in a serious thingamajiggy, you 100% owe them an explanation. That's not even a question anymore. That's not even a debate. You owe them an explanation. Like, are we serious right now? Are we serious here? But if it's like another situation where it's not so serious, okay, you don't owe it to them. But it is the more respectful thing to do. You know, just have the respect to be like, yo, blah 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 blah. I just don't like you anymore. Because like I said, oh, what if you just don't like them anymore? Yeah, you just don't like them anymore. Be honest. It's gonna suck. They're gonna be like, oh no. And you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm sorry. But I mean, it has happened.
if I don't know what I'm doing, I would be like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of not feeling it anymore. And like, you've done nothing wrong. I am not going to put the blame on myself either because I haven't done anything wrong. Like, if I'm not in love with you anymore, that's not either of our faults. And then I would just be like, let's just not have a relationship anymore. I hate like the whole let's be friends because that like never works. But I wouldn't necessarily block them, but I would have a conversation about it's not your fault, it's not my fault, but we just I don't want to pursue this anymore.
Ooh, okay. This is for sure like highly debatable between many different people, okay? My personal opinion, for me, my personal opinion, I think it is highly dependent on what your significant other's uh opinion on the matter is. If your girlfriend thinks it's cheating, or if your boyfriend thinks it's cheating. Because at that point, it doesn't matter. Okay, it does matter what you think. But if you don't think it's an issue, but your partner thinks it's an issue, right? You cannot do it anymore because that's their boundaries that they have set within the relationship. If they see it and deem it as like important enough to like be at the same level as cheating, to be considered cheating, then yeah, bro, you gotta stop. Like, cause that's how that's how seriously they hold it, right? And that's their boundaries, and you gotta respect their boundaries regardless. But if your partner's like, oh, I don't really care. Like honestly, that's your time, that's your space, it's your body, it's your choice. Do whatever you want, right? Cool, right? Do whatever you want. Um, but if you're gonna hold someone to that high of a standard, you gotta live up to that too. Like you gotta be at that standard as well. You can't expect someone to be like up here and be so well behaved and do this and do all the great things that you want them to do while meantime you're all the way down here just doing the bare minimum, whatever. No, like if you want someone to like if you want someone to respect you to the point where they don't watch that for you, right? Then you gotta be respectful to, enough to the point where you don't watch it either. Because that's what you both do. That's what you both choose in the relationship. I think it comes down to every relationship's a little different. So
I think when it comes to like this whole topic, I just don't really care that much because it's just like it's not me and like my time. Like whatever someone chooses to
see,
do
some people just
in
don't
their
care.
own personal free time is up to them.
Well, me personally, I think it comes down to like more of a respect thing. And like for me, I kind of do care. So like I feel like it'd be a bit like insensitive to your partners to just sit and watch other girls or whatever. You know, and it's like it's a bit weird to me.
She got this. I'm proud of her for that. I'm proud of her for doing this, even though she's anxious. Like, heck yeah, girl. Frick yeah, rooting for you.
I can see how you think it's weird, but like for me
And if she's not anxious, I'm just tripping out. Hey, I'm rooting for you, girl. It's fine. It's cool.
personally, like they're not doing anything with my partner. Like, I know, like, if I
I
feel
can see
like
that. I see
who
both
I'm
points of
with
the argument.
doesn't know where
6,
home is
7.
at, you can say, then they're not someone I want to be with. Like, it doesn't really, like, it would be unfair for me to, like, say we're walking down the street, like, if I see a pretty woman, like, and I'm like, wow, she's pretty, like, I would honestly be more offended if my partner didn't agree with me, because I'm kind of just like, I'm not the only person in the world, like, I should, like, and I don't want to feel like desensitized to life, and like that when I'm with my partner, like I'm the only thing that matters, I guess.
I agree that, you know, your boyfriend could think other people are pretty and stuff. That's just like facts. But like to actively like go
This goes both ways. Your girl's gonna think other guys, you know, they look good, but like being attracted is where that's different. And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. If you don't agree, you haven't been in love. Well, I can't say that, but if you don't agree, you're wrong. If you love someone truly, right, and your eyes are set solely on them, I mean, highlight on both parts. Highlight if you love them, highlight if your eyes are set only on them, right? Then you will not be attracted to other people. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. If you disagree, you're wrong. I don't care. You can argue in the comments. I don't even get comments. Soon I will, if God is willing. Uh, that's not a joke, by the way. I mean it. I really will get comments soon if God is willing. But anyways, go ahead.
look for that and then do whatever they're doing to that and it's to another girl, it's just to me, I would classify it maybe as cheating because that's just looking at a naked woman. That's not you. Like that's I don't I don't like it.
And
Yeah.
also for me, it's like the concept of them wanting to
Yeah.
watch it. Like you
Some people are addicts, bro. And that's facts. Some people are addicts. And when it comes to addiction, you cannot pick and choose which addictions are serious, which are not. An addiction is an addiction, period. There's a reason why it's called an addiction. It is not so serious to break free from an addiction. If your man or your girl is addicted to porn, you have to understand what that truly means. Be understanding, really comprehend the situation. And if you find that it's cheating, help them work through that. Help them become not addicted to porn. Um, but yeah, just remember, an addiction is addiction. Just because it's an addiction to porn doesn't mean that it's not as serious. An addiction to porn is still an addiction. It's still very serious. It is still very hard to break free from. Just because you're not addicted to porn doesn't mean that, it's not that serious or that it's not hard to break free from. Because in reality, it really is. Breaking free from any addiction, period, is extremely difficult. So help them out to break free from that. Don't shame them. Don't get mad. Well, I'm not saying you can't get mad. You can get mad. But don't shame them. You know? Help them through that. But yeah.
once like you're choosing to watch this and it's like I'm right here, you know.
Right. Yeah, but like also I think in the whole context of consent, like if I
You're there, but you're not as accessible. And that's facts. Okay, a reason why a lot of men and women are so addicted to porn, I think one of the reasons is because it's so easily accessible. It's literally at your fingertips. That's why it's so hard to break free from, because it's so easy to do. With the girl, she's not gonna be there all the time like your cell phone is. And I'm not saying that a cell phone's better than a real life girl. I'm just saying like one of the reasons why it's so hard is because it's so easily accessible, and that's facts.
don't want to get with you and like you're feeling desires, who am I to say that you can't fulfill your own needs? Like that's not really my place to say. Like if I'm in a relationship with someone, I want the best for them, and if like they feel as
I would not say porn is the best for them, but I understand what she's trying to say.
if they need to clear their head that way. Like, it's not my place, it's their own free time. Like, you have your own laptop if that's what you're gonna choose to do with it. Like,
Laptop?
that's place to say. It's not to say that like you can't be uncomfortable with it. It's just like it's their body, and if they're choosing to please themselves when you're not there, that's not really your place to tell them they can't. And if you don't agree with it, then you shouldn't be with them.
No, I completely
Very
get it. I love how like
interesting
confident you are with
conflicting
like in your
views.
relationship. In that sense, it's just for me personally. That's just something like I value. I just don't think porn should be in relationships. And I think also on the topic of porn, I think it's been harmful for young kids discovering it, and so I just don't.
In porn, do you think like it's a good depiction to ask for like do they think that they like show asking for consent well?
No, not at all. If I'm being quite honest, like I just think that it shows a very skewed perception of it, and it gives people the wrong idea of how to ask for consent, and then it also can make people more like, for lack of a better word, I guess like lustful, and make them be like, think, oh, this is the way it should be done. If this is what I'm seeing, this is the media I'm indulging in, they're like, this is what I should do, and this is how I should do it.
Nah, bro, porn is a dangerous addiction, and that's facts, bro. It messes with your entire mind, like your entire perception of what sex is, you know? Bro, if you're addicted to porn, like I'm telling you right now, bro, please seek God. Please, please seek God with all of your heart. Because porn very well does create rapists. And it does create people who commit sexual assault crimes. And that is facts. There was a video I saw recently where a guy who was arrested for taking photos of women's skirts in Japan, uh, he said that it originally started off by watching upskirt porn videos. So yes, and he said himself that if he hadn't got caught, then he probably would have raped a girl within a year or two. So uh, obviously, like a woman, well, actually that's not honestly, because a rapist, I mean, what morals do they have, you know? So, but that's disgusting. Anyways, point is, porn is dangerous, bro, and that's facts. Uh, be very careful when indulging in that, and be very mindful of how serious your addiction is. It should in no way be skewing your morals or changing how serious you view sex as, because sex is something that's very serious and can very easily go wrong, and you never, 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 never want to hurt anyone sexually. That is just not okay. But yeah, that's a very serious topic.
And it's very harmful to many people. And I think at the end of the day, porn is also considered an addiction. It's not considered just like something the way you watch a movie. It's an addiction that people have, and that people also seek help for because they understand how harmful it is to not just themselves, but also to their relationships and those around them. And I just feel like it's not healthy for someone to watch it for the benefit of all the relationships, not just their sexual ones.
And that's nice. Yeah, I like his response. I like his response a lot. I can tell when someone is uncomfortable without them saying it. I hope they all strongly agree. What? Wait, okay. Some people have difficult times with social cues. Like I'm sure most of you guys know what I'm talking about when I say NPC kids. All right, those kids at school who just don't really take social cues. They're a little different from the rest of us. Yeah, a lot of them do struggle with social cues, so they don't have the capabilities of seeing like slash understanding when someone is uncomfortable. I mean, they see it, but they're not really capable of understanding when someone is uncomfortable in that whatever situation they're in. So, yeah. But I hope all of you strongly agree that you can tell when someone is uncomfortable without them having to say it.
In my opinion, I think body language is so easy to read nowadays because it plays like a huge role in people showing their emotions, and an emotion like, uncomfortableness. I feel like it's pretty easy to read.
I like to like I think check in a lot with like my friends and like when I'm talking to someone and really seeing like how they're feeling. I think you're right about body language, like with your eyes and like how you're like almost like holding your like self up. Like the reason why I'm like a little bit like not fully over here is like if someone's like maybe a little bit more like quiet or is trying to like not like let you know that they're if that makes any sense, like it can be a little harder, and that's
I'm
why it's
sorry.
like
It's okay if
sometimes
you
you
say
have to
like a lot.
like
Just
I can't just tell by like looking at them. I'd have to actually like talk to them.
I would say in a lot of shows we see today, like I was thinking of the example Euphoria. I feel like there's a lot of stuff about like sexual activity
you know
and
that
like
girl on the left
kissing
watch it,
and
bro.
boys, girls, stuff like that, but there's not really any way for us to learn like how do you ask if it's okay, like is this chill, like what's an okay way to ask consent. And I think if shows depicted these conversations more, like teenagers like us wouldn't have to wonder these questions.
I think I was thinking of it like the way the question was phrased. Like the shows that I watch, I feel like I don't see a lot of not asking for consent or like bad examples. But with Euphoria, you're kind of right. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm watching Sopranos, and low-key, Tony Soprano is not the best guy.
I'm gonna say yeah, bro. If you send a nude to someone, you know that that inherently comes with risk. I understand. Let's not blame the victim, guys. But when we stop thinking so much with our little big hearts, and we start thinking with our big brains, uh, you guys have big hearts, don't worry. But still, when you guys start thinking with your brains, like it is your fault because if you had never sent the photo, it would have never been shared. Uh, Point blank period. Boy, boy, but um, it is almost entirely the fault though of whoever shared that photo around because they're the ones that broke your trust and did all that weird stuff. If you share someone's nudes around and to anyone, your friends, one person, whatever, whoever it is, you're weird. You're so weird for that. And I hope you never get sent anything ever again, honestly. And like, I don't want to say I wish bad on you, but I hope you never get sent anything ever again. Like, you're weird for that. And I want you to know that you're highly weird. Like, you're extremely weird and you need to change. You need to change that part of yourself immediately. It is not okay to share anyone's nudes. Regardless of what they do to you, don't share anyone's nudes, bro. That's so weird and it's not okay.
Okay, so I can already see like your perspective on this and be like, oh, well, as the person who's sending the photo, you're getting up, probably getting dressed or undressed specifically for this photo, setting yourself up for this photo. Like, yeah, there's a lot of time and like effort that goes into it. However, I think it's unfair to put someone at fault for being vulnerable, and it's also unfair to have the other person just be like, well, you sent this to me, so it's mine now, and like just go off
Ooh,
and
no. That's facts though. If someone sends you a photo, it is not now yours. It is not your photo. No, no, no. That is their body. That they only consented to being sent to you, bro. But yeah.
they want with it.
Right. But like, if you think about it in another perspective, it's like you chose to send it, and it's like it also just depends on like the person that you're sending it to. It's like if it's like a partner, then it's like okay, yeah, that's kind of messed up. But if it's like you're sending it to like random people, then it's like I don't know, like not to sound like a bad person or anything, but it's like I don't know, like I feel like you don't know who that person is showing it to. You didn't do and like your research on who you were sending it to, so it's kind of your fault.
No, yeah, I totally agree with the fact that it's like
He's
if
trying
you're
so hard not to seem
unsure
like
of
a
who
bad
the
person. He's
person
not a bad
is,
person for
then
thinking that way.
why would you put yourself at risk for something like that?
Oh wow. Yes. Yes, 100% yes. Yes. And I don't even have to go into that. It's just yes, bro. If you disagree, you're wrong. You're wrong. But yeah. What?
Alright, so
That many
I just
disagree?
think the word should is kind of strong here. Um, it really depends on how far along you are in your
I'm not saying you have to. It's just you should. And that's fact.
relationship. Whereas, I guess it can be, but you can have friends that you are closer with than your boyfriend or girlfriend.
I just think that like sharing your location is something that can be turned off, and like hopefully the person that you're dating you're like friends with, that you like should like be comfortable having your location on with them, and if like you break up or something bad happens, you can always just turn it off, and it's just like as simple as that. So I feel like you probably should, because I feel like if I was dating somebody and they didn't have their location on for me and they had it on for like all their friends, I would kind of feel like, why are you dating me then?
If you're
I love how they let everyone talk. I really want to hear everyone's voice in this. Like everyone have a moment to really share what they think.
significant other goes, hey, you should have this on, that's like an instant red flag for me. I think the space.
A person's body count is extremely important, bro. 100%. For your own safety, facts. You guys have got to remember there is STDs on this planet, bro. There are people with STD. I mean STDs. STD or STDs. You never know. But there are people walking around with that, and you can't tell just by physical appearance. Like you guys have got to be careful with that. God forbid any of you, God forbid anyone else on this planet gets any STDs, right? But I mean, you guys have got to be careful with that stuff. And yeah. Besides the whole STD part, body count matters, facts. And I'm not gonna get into it because y'all will probably have a trillion things to say if anyone is watching this.
Okay, I feel like it's kind of a tricky like situation because I feel like from a health standpoint, like get frequently tested and like like see what's up, but I think that like people go through phases in their lives where like maybe they're getting with more people at a certain time.
Sex is not something that should be treated as I just had a phase and I did a little something, maybe a couple times, maybe a couple somethings or someone's, but no, 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 no. Sex is not just something that you can have a phase with at all, bro. Sex is very serious. And a lot of you don't see it as serious anymore because you desensitize yourself with porn and with a lot of other stuff. But yeah.
But I think like that should that change like your perception on them like now, if that makes any sense, like especially if you're in a long if you're in like if you've been in a relationship.
100%. 100%. If I were to be dating, I'm with my girl for a year now, right? If I were to be dating her for, let's say, even another year, or okay, right now or another year, right? If I found out right now that she had secret bodies that she never told me about, I would be fuming. I would be furious. You're telling me you hid that from me this entire time? What? And that would not change whether it's now or in 2 years. I'd be more mad in 2 years, in a year or two. I'd be more mad then, because that's more time spent lying. That's more time where you had a secret hidden away from me. And remember, lying about your body count to get with someone is rapey as frick, bruh. That is rape. Lying to someone about your body count so you can get with them with like sexually, that is rape. That is rape. Lock in, bro. Chill. Like, if they don't like that, respect that, bruh. Be honest, but if they don't like you being with multiple people, respect that. Move on. Go find someone else. Leave them alone. Stop bothering them with lying to them and not giving them what they think they are getting, bro. Like,
With someone and they're like they're not getting with anyone else, they're just getting with you, then it's like
I agree with you, but I don't. I mean, I feel like it definitely is
when I
important.
don't.
Maybe I know some friends of mine like to kind of scale it up, like, oh, if she has this many bodies, you can't mess with her. And I don't really agree with that, but I think it's super important, like especially with like unprotected sex, if you're just like doing it with a lot of people. I'm not mostly like a judger, but I'm kind of thinking for myself. Like, I don't want to catch things and stuff, and it's like it's in, you're supposed to be vulnerable. It's like a very vulnerable thing.
Like different things can mean
How old is
different
he?
things to different people. But I think in general, like the idea of like purity culture is kind of, it can be very like patriarchal. Like it's kind of comes from this like possessive place of kind of like wanting to like make your mark on someone and not wanting them to be like tainted anyway. And I think a lot of that judgment, like especially as teenagers, like people don't want to be with someone who they feel like is easy or who is not worthy of them, or they feel like it's a waste of time. And I just think that's a very toxic mindset, and I think it contributes to a lot of like a lot of sexual violence because that type of thinking is.
Are we being serious here? No, like actually, are we being serious here? Caring about someone's body count is toxic now? Well, since when?
Not good. I don't think people should care about how many people you've gotten with. I do understand where you're coming from in terms of like, yeah, vulnerability, and like if you feel like someone doesn't see certain like actions with the same amount of like, I don't know.
Sorry, can I just say something? Personally, with the question, like, I think it's important how many people you've been with because it's something I value in a partner. That's just me personally. I know for a lot of culture, sex is very, that doesn't really hold as much of an importance to it. But for me personally, I do value how many people you've been with.
But do you not feel like as a woman you're judged a lot harsher on like your past partners versus like the way men are? Like
Facts. Girls are judged more harshly, which I think is completely unfair. I think both men and women should be judged equally for their body count. Sex is sex.
Yeah, I definitely see that with society that men, they're like, oh no, like.
yeah, it's like normal for men to have a lot of sexual partners, but with women it's like not. It's like not viewed the same.
Which
So I
is
think we need
weird,
to like
bro. That's
destigmatize
weird.
sex in general and kind of make it just less of a big deal. Like it doesn't need to be this big thing.
I agree, and I think that's like where I think I'm coming from in this like situation. Like society is like almost painting it out to like be such a negative thing, but and sure, maybe like based off you are allowed to like treat sex as like however you feel and the importance to you, but I think everyone is different, and I don't believe in like judging someone like fully based off like how many people they've gotten with, because there's so many like if you've had an issue with like substance abuse too, it's like I'm not gonna judge you, and I'm not gonna like judge your character now because of something like that you dealt with, if that makes any sense.
I mean, I don't like personally. I don't judge people like my friends or anyone for like how many bodies they have. Just personally, what like with a partner, I wouldn't want them to have been with people just for sex. Like, I think sex is like a thing that is out of love.
But I think when it comes to relationship, you're like, I want you to like be aware that we're like connecting. I think feelings get hurt when you're in like talking and you're getting with people, and like maybe you're like some people when you're having sex, you're like, I want this is because it's like intimate. This is you and me. This is a private. It's vulnerable, and we're being vulnerable to each other. And then if it's to the other person, I'm just like, oh, I can get with you and it'll feel like nothing. It'll just be another thing. And, I'll be with someone next week. Like, that doesn't make me feel good. It just makes me feel like I'm just I'm just the next one in line.
Let's say you were dating someone for 3 months and you really like them, and then you find out that they had 10 bodies. Would you break up with them?
No, I think that would definitely be a conversation I have early on before I'm dating, because that is something that I consider when I'm dating someone. Like, is this
Before you ask someone to be your partner, you would ask them how many.
That's like a consideration on dating someone.
Yes.
100%. That's something I ask if I'm seriously considering someone. There's been people that I've talked to, and I won't even ask, I won't even care. But if like maybe it even comes up in casual conversation. But if I'm actually considering dating someone, 100% I'm asking. I want to know, like, how sensitive are you to this? Am I just another one guy in line?
I just want to just hear like an answer on like how come it's not important. Like, you just don't care if your partner's been with so many people.
I think like yeah, like in a perfect world, I would love to say that like I'm not judgmental and like oh that doesn't matter. But I mean no, like I'm a person too. Like yeah, I would be like wait what? And like you can ask and you can like inquire. But I don't like I think the idea of like purity culture in general or like this idea that like the lower your body count or like the less experience you have in like intimate situations, I don't think that ties into like it's not important necessarily. It can be important to you in a partner and you can ask, and if that's important to you, that's important to you and like that's your opinion. But I just don't think like in a general sense like is the number of people who you've been with important? No, it's not. Or it shouldn't be in my opinion, because I think that contributes like a very toxic culture and like way of thinking. That's part of like something a lot bigger than like what we're talking about.
Does it matter in terms of relationship or just like hooking?
Yo, this is a good conversation. I ain't gonna lie. This is very good. Like it's like it's very interesting. It's very intriguing.
But I just don't think like in a general sense like is the number of people who you've been with important? No, it's not. Or it shouldn't be in my opinion, because I think that contributes like a very toxic culture and like way of thinking. That's part of like something a lot bigger than like what we're talking about.
Does it matter in terms of relationship or just like
In
hooking
terms
up?
of like your worth as a person, like I don't think like yeah, like if that's your opinion, but I just don't think like purity culture in general or like this idea that like the lower your body count or like the less experience you have in like intimate situations, I don't think that ties into like it's not important necessarily. It can be important to you in a partner and you can ask, and if that's important to you, that's important to you and like that's your opinion. But I just don't think like in a general sense like is the number of people who you've been with important? No, it's not. Or it shouldn't be in my opinion, because I think that contributes like a very toxic culture and like way of thinking. That's part of like something a lot bigger than like what we're talking about.
Does it matter in terms of relationship or just like
In
hooking
terms
up?
of like your worth as a person, like I don't think like yeah, like if you're looking for a partner and that's something that's important to you, that's fair. And like again, yeah, I'm a person too. Like I'm curious, I want to know like if it's someone I'm interested in, like I'll ask. But I just think like I don't like I can't subscribe to like the idea that that is like deeply tied to like your worth. Like I don't think it matters that
No, I
much.
totally agree. I don't think it's tied to your worth as a person. That's just something that you did.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in a partner, I do think it's important. That's just for me
Yeah.
personally.
All right, W video, my dude. Later, bro. See you later. See you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile.